Guys, we are continuing on with our week of bonus episodes because this week is Girls and Women in Sports Day on Wednesday. So we're just doing the entire week. But we have our most popular and most frequent guest star, one of my favorites to have on the show, Miss Eva Hallman. Eva, thank you so much for coming back on.
I feel so honored being a popular guest here. I love you guys, and this is just always so much fun.
I think you are, well, you definitely are our most popular. And then I think you were our first guest outside of me dragging my friends on to come talk hockey.
Feel honored.
Yeah, you're legendary. Before we get into your stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about, because your boy played last night with Toronto versus Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling? I know
Honestly,
you're a Marner girly.
I feel like I've kind of shifted away
Okay.
from Marner just because I have a burning hatred for Vegas. Sorry, Vegas, if you hear this, I'm sorry. If you hire me, that's fine. I will like you again. But I've just never been a big Vegas fan. But Toronto, they're kind of coasting. They're the edits that I see on TikTok is kind of what rips me apart. Is like, um, those really get me. Like the back to friends edits and some other songs. But I did see a fan yesterday get their jersey snatched from them. I forget who snatched it. And did you see what was on the jersey?
It says sellout.
I was like, okay, that's
a little too far, but I definitely saw that video. Shout out to Kolazar for snatching.
Yes, I was like that. I think we talked about this the last time I was on, of like the hockey culture of like the fans expect so much versus like the player, and I was like, that really did like cross a boundary. And obviously, like, he seems to be very happy in Vegas, has a good culture going on there. Happy for him, but obviously my allegiance is with my Leafs. So, but I haven't been able to watch too much of the NHL this year just because I've just been watching too much of the coast, which is not a crime. Support minor league.
Support minor leagues, absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely the one that got me. Wasn't this game, but was the game prior, where Marner goes to shoot the puck over and Matthews doesn't even look at him.
Like walk down the hallway and he's like I didn't look at him. And I'm like, yeah, you did. Like, we saw the tape. Like, you did look at him. He's like, I didn't. He's like, enough of the Marner questions. Like, I didn't even look at him. And like, there's evidence that you did look at him.
I do get the it's got to get old for him.
Yes.
They probably had their own conversation or something behind the scenes that is none of our business because we're not in their lives. And so I imagine there is a layer to it, but that we don't know about. But I understand the on some level kind of getting sick of.
Yeah.
You are going to
kinda
get that
asking about your ex significant other all of the time. I would be sick of it too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely saw the Kolazar one because initially I didn't see the back that what was written, and I just thought it was a kid holding up a Marner jersey, and I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yes.
And then I saw in the comments, I didn't even see the visual of the sellout. I just saw
the
comments
angle,
that were it says sellout, and I'm like, why? One, jerseys are expensive.
They're expensive. You paid for a custom jersey that had to be what, $300?
Right.
And you didn't even get it. It got snatched out of your hands.
Hockey fans are weird. And it made me a little, proud of Chicago fans because we've had bigger guys leave. But we've never, it's always just been nothing but a warm welcome for them to come back.
Yes.
I'm like, that's what you do. At the end of the day, it's still your guy. Okay. Well, then jumping to the coast, you had a very big game in November.
Was it the one that we won 7-2?
No, you personally.
Me? Oh,
Eva had a very big game. No,
I was like, oh, what do we won 7-2? I was like, yes, the team. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I was like, me? I was like, the team. I was like thinking, I was like, when did the team have a big game in November? I was like, oh no, me. Yes, I know what you're talking
You had a very big game,
about. I did.
personally, a
Oh,
very legendary game, being the first woman to call a Fuel game.
yes, I did. It was so much fun.
One, congratulations. Two, run me through the whole story.
So we kind of knew this was going to happen at the beginning of the season. My counterpart Andrew Smith, he does the New Palestine high school in our
Mhm.
area football, and he's like he works there as a teacher. He's their like athletic director. They're like their SID, and he does their broadcasting. And we had a home game every single Friday of November. And if you know high school football, there's a like that
Yep.
is playoffs, and New Pal has gone to the state championship for the past like 4 years in a row. So we're thinking like, oh, like this could be an issue. And so the weekend before, so like they win regionals, they win sectionals, it's semi-state. I'm actually in Disney World, so I took the weekend off from the games and I went to Disney World, which was a really nice, relaxing break. And it was warm and it was sunny. It was great. So I'm like keeping up. Like I'm in Magic Kingdom and I'm like keeping up on the score. I'm like, oh my gosh, like New Pal's winning the semi-state, and Andrew told me that if they go to state, he's going to state, and I would be the one to fill in. And that didn't really like set into me yet. And then I saw that they won. I'm like, oh, like that's really cool. Like New Pal won. They're going to state. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like wait. And so then I was like in a frenzy because I was like, oh my goodness. Thankfully though, the game was against Fort Wayne, so
Mhm.
realistically, the easiest opponent that I could have ever had. Just because I know a lot of the players,
Right.
literally like that's like a layup. It's a double home game for me. So I get back from Disney and it's Thanksgiving. So like I am trying to prep for this game while having to go to 6 Thanksgivings in a week and my mind is just not there. I didn't tell anyone that I was doing this game. Like I told like my immediate family, but I didn't really tell mainly anyone else just because there was a time over a Thanksgiving break, of course, like my sophomore year of college that I got COVID when I was supposed to make my TV debut. So then after that, I was just so like cautious about
Right.
sharing news because sickness, whatever. So that whole week I was like prepping, watching film, like memorizing names. We made some trades and we got some new guys, so I just obviously wanted to make sure I knew who they were. Plan my interviews. It was the first time in like 2 years I interviewed our head coach, and he's a great guy. But I was just like, obviously, when it's like your turn now to interview, it's like, oh, like I'm actually doing this for real. I try not to psych myself out about it, but I knew it was like going to be a big deal. Um, and so, did the whole like I actually finally posted about it. Like I posted about it right before the game and I'm like, well, it's like now or never here. And I don't think I really realized that I was doing it until after the national anthem. They play Thunderstruck after the national anthem. And then like, two teams skating on the ice, like they're like getting ready to drop the puck. It wasn't until like legit puck drop I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like I am
You're
doing
doing it.
like I'm doing this. I'm like, there's no going back. Like there's no like I have to just like keep talking. And just I just go. And the game was literally a blur to me. Like I genuinely don't think I can tell you like moments of the game. I remember my first goal call. Obviously, like you remember your first. I was so nervous about it. I barely practiced it because I was like, well, like I didn't really know if we were gonna score that much. So I was like, oh, like I'll just like let's see, we'll just see how it goes. And we scored like 3 minutes into the game, and I was like, thank goodness I get it over with quickly. And it wasn't obviously like none of my goal calls were like the best things in the world, which like don't expect them to be. Like that was my first time doing it,
Right.
but I do the goal call and I literally like start crying. I'm like, stop, I have to lock in. Like I can't like be like emotional right now. But like that was just like almost like breaking the ice. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And then of course, like there's 9 total goals in that game. There's a couple fights. There's like so much action. They ended up losing in overtime. So I'm like, great, now I have to do overtime. I really didn't want a shootout. I think a shootout I would have like died.
Right, because you're already like here
You're
during the
already, yeah.
shootout,
And
even like as a fan. I can't
yes.
imagine like
And then
being here and then trying to keep your composure.
and also like I still was struggling a little bit with like left and like the way that the ice is like right corner boards and left and like if I would have had to do like super analyze like shootout, I just would have been like he shot and missed. I just would have been like that because I was like so like overwhelmed. And then game wrapped up and I literally like ended the show. And we had technical difficulties during the show too. Like we have this ECHL plays of the week that plays every week and it didn't play. So I ended up just like I already scheduled a player to come in and do like a live interview with me. So I'm like, well, we're just gonna talk for longer. So I was like, sorry guys, like technical difficulties. Like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just here. So I was like saying again, I'm like, I don't. Thanks for coming along with me. Like I don't know what's going on. I'm just here. Um, but like the game's done, and I literally just like sit there. I'm like, oh my god, like what did I just do? Like what? Like did I just do that?
You
So
became a legend.
it was really cool. Definitely something that like I treasure and I will treasure, like being able to call a game and be the first woman to not just be the first woman to be a broadcaster for the franchise, but then to be the first woman to call a game. Super special, but again, to do it in front of my hometown team like that, I feel like was even more special to me because I grew up watching some of the guys that were skating on the ice for the Comets, and it was just bittersweet. And Shane Albarani is their broadcaster. He was there at the game, and I shadowed him. He was the reason I kind of got into this because I shadowed him and I was like, wow, this seems fun. So like to be able to look over and I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so full circle. It was insane. I have like amnesia about it because I was like, wait, like I don't really like remember much. So I had to like go back and watch clips. There were some people though that sent messages to like the social media account. They're like, she's mixing up Panwar and Petgrave, like, and I'm like, I'm not. Like they actually like are on the same like shift like every single time and they pass the puck to each other 20 times back and forth. So sorry if I go Panwar to Peck like I was like, guys, just let me live.
There's NHL broadcasters that will mix up Connor Bedard and Berard on like a
Yes, like
day to day, even if they're not playing each other.
it also just goes so fast. Like you don't know what
Right.
you're saying. Words just have to come out. And I'm like, guys, this is like my first time. Like just if I somehow accidentally say number 22 Sahil Panwar instead of number 26, like they're both like 20s numbers close together. They skate all the time. They have same skating patterns. I was like, guys, let me
Especially if they're on the same shift.
they were always because we were on the we Panwar scored 2 power play goals,
Okay.
and I think both of them were assisted by Petgrave. So like obviously I was going Petgrave to Panwar. Like guys, they're obviously like get with it, watch the game, or just listen on mute. If you don't want to listen to me, just mute it. It's fine. I don't care.
That's what I do for national broadcasts.
I know, like just if you want to do it yourself, like that's fine.
Um, so prior to run us through, what does the prep look like for that? Because do you have like some information already just from being like osmosis of being around the team so much? Is there different prep that you're pulling in? What did that kind of look for you before the actual game?
I watched a lot of film because it was still early enough in the season that we only played Fort Wayne once before that.
Okay.
So I watched film of Fort Wayne and their previous games because the last time we saw them was opening night and they shut us out 4-0. So I was like, okay. So I watched a lot of prep and I missed the weekend before. So since I was in Disney, I needed to watch the entirety of the games from last weekend of how did the field play, tendencies, goaltenders. So I think I watched 4 games, 2 for the comments and then the 2 fuel games that I missed. And then I have broadcast sheets, which I actually have kept my broadcast sheets from those games. I'm gonna frame them. Gonna be kind of cute. I just decided I was like, oh, I should keep these. They're like big, like legal paper size sheets. They have like everyone's names, little blurb about them, their last goal, last point. So I have to go through all that. I have to go find that. For the fuel, it's easy because it's like I regularly update it every home game. Comets was kind of more like I started prepping that at the beginning of November because I had an inkling I was going to do this game.
Right.
So I wasn't like having to do like a whole sheet all at once, but prepped all of them. And then kind of just went to morning skate that day to really immerse myself in the game because since I again missed the weekend before, I was like I feel like out of touch from the game. Like I don't like I'm in La La Land still. Like I just got off the Mickey Mouse Express. Like I'm not here in hockey mode. So I had to really like snap quickly into hockey mode. So watched film, watched practice, talk with players. Um and yeah, kind of just hoped for the best. Kind of just hoped that my background knowledge of these 2 teams and the sport would get me through. Oh, and I studied the penalties a lot cuz I was terrified that I was going to like this year they introduced that ECHL referees have microphones, but I
Mhm.
was like in the off chance that his mic isn't working, like I need to make sure like I know every single hand signal and there's so many.
Yeah.
And so I just needed a refresher that I knew them. I think that was the thing I was most concerned about is I was also concerned we were going to get goaltender interference because what is goaltender interference?
No one knows what goaltender interference is. The refs don't know what goaltender.
It's just
Toronto doesn't know what
the day
goaltender
by day.
interference.
Like
Like depends on who you ask. We even like went sentence by sentence in the book during the off
yes, and
season
it
because
just
we
is
got
like
really
up to
bored.
interpretation. And you're like
And we're like, no one knows. Depends on who you ask. It's the running gag of the sport.
wherever the wind takes them.
Exactly. Eva, I need to tell you. So my mom watches hockey, but doesn't know as much of like the vocabulary and the ins and outs,
Mhm.
and I constantly have to relay it back to baseball. So
Yes.
obviously she knows that you've been on the show, and I told her what you did in November, and she's like, okay, but like what is that in baseball terms? And she's like, wait, is that because my mom's a big Yankee fan?
Mhm.
And so she's like, is that the see ya guy when Aaron Judge hits the home run? Is Eva
Yes!
the see ya guy? And I'm
Yes!
like, yes, that's exactly what
Oh
Eva
my
was doing.
gosh, being compared to Michael K is like he's also a big fan of chicken tenders, so I relate to him, so
Same. Love it.
it's
We
like,
love
yes.
a relatable man.
Gosh, that's so funny. No. I wish I could incorporate that. I did do, like, one Thanksgiving pun. I thought Petgrave scored. I thought he tipped in the puck, but it was, again, Panwar. See? Sorry, guys. So I wanted to make, like, because it was after Thanksgiving, I wanted to make a gravy because his nickname is Gravy. I wanted to make a gravy joke. That was gonna be, like, my see ya. I wanted to be like, "Good
That's
gravy.
excellent.
Do you have mashed potatoes?"
So yeah, you got a fan out there.
I
She was
will oh
all
my gosh,
excited once I told her that. I was
I
like,
will
yeah,
forever
so
know.
Eva's the see ya guy.
That is such, like wow. That's the biggest compliment I've ever received. Wow. Thank shout out your mom. Love her.
Hey, she doesn't know all the vocabulary, but she tries so hard and
That's
is incredible.
you sometimes you do have to connect it to other sports. Like, I do that
Oh, for
for
sure.
my sister, I do that for my aunt, I do that for my boyfriend. I mean, he's getting more into hockey, obviously, because that's all I do, but he's
Right.
much more big baseball and motorsports, so I'm like, "Well, this is I just won the Indy 500, so"
Exactly. No, I do that for especially because I don't know if you think this, but I think the pipeline between being a hockey fan and being a motorsports fan is like the
Yes,
same.
yes. Correct.
And so I'll get folks from like either side of like, okay, what is this equivalent? Like if I'm a fan of this, what is this? What is Ferrari in hockey?
Yeah, like a
Like,
like a
obviously it's
penalty for hockey is a drive-through in motorsports. Like it's the same thing. Like you lose a big advantage.
yeah, they're like, what is Ferrari? And I'm like, obviously it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes. Like duh.
Got a lot of history, constant suffering.
Yep, that's a great way to put it. Constant suffering in the modern era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have one guy who just kind of looks sad the entire time.
And it got historic colors, really great, like iconic emblem, just pain.
Nothing
All the
but
time.
pain and suffering. What a time. But getting back to the fuel.
Yes.
Because I realized we never really, like, we have you on, we talk about more like behind the scenes, but never really like the fuel team itself in terms of the guys are there. And you watch them all the time. For folks that are new to the fuel or new to the coast, who are the big guys in the Indy fuel to take note of if you're new?
So obviously you got to start off with our captain Chris Cameron. He's been with the team the longest. He's been with them since I believe the 2020-2021 season, and he's actually has the most games played in franchise history. He broke that the day after I did the whole game. So he tied it on that game, then he broke the day after. So he's now counting because the more games you play, you keep breaking the record. You break your own record at that point. So he's been our captain now for 2 seasons. He used to be a big kind of enforcer, used to get into a lot of fights, but now he's really excelled on our penalty kill. So obviously, when you start to become one of your number one penalty killers, you don't want to be in the box as much. So he's kind of tamed down his, enforcer type. Doesn't get in fights as often. He will if he needs to protect a teammate. But he's a big one. Really great guy on and off the ice. Except we went to practice the other day and he blew a party popper in my face. Literally kind of burned my cheek a little bit. And he was like, oh, like, I think Eva's squeamish. And then he goes over to me and he's like, oh, like, I thought he was throwing cake in someone's face. And instead he's just like, boom. I was like, I thought we were friends. So Cameron, big guy to root for. Our goalies, you always can root for a goalie. Like, there's never once that you can't root for a goaltender. We have Owen Flores. Owen Flores and Mitchell Weeks are both contracted to Rockford. And Flores is probably one of the funniest goaltenders I've ever got to experience. He's just hilarious. He's the same age as me, which
wild,
genuinely crazy. But he does this thing where we call it flow state, where if there's like a goal review or like a stoppage in play for like injury or something, he'll just like kneel down in front of his goalpost and just like sit there and just like almost like meditate. And so I asked him, I was like, what are you thinking about? Like, are you thinking about the game? Just like a quick like warm up. And he's like, I'm thinking about Taco Bell.
Yes.
And so I was like, that makes like that. He's like Taco Bell, Zaxby's. He's like, I'm just thinking about food. I was like, okay, well, easy to root for someone when all you do is think about food. I'm like, me too, though. And then Mitchell Weeks has been with us for a while. He spent last year in Rockford. It's back. Crazy good goaltender, really fun to watch. So goaltenders, I gotta do a forward now. We just have so many fun guys this season. Like, it's like picking a favorite child. Like, it's like, who can you root for? Like, everyone. I'm just going through the list, like all of them. Jaden Joseph, he is a rookie this year and he has a lot of spunk and energy. Like, he's like an energizer bunny on the ice. And he'll fight if he needs to, or he'll like sneak in a goal. It's like the duality of man. Lee Lapede, very partial. Love watching Lee Lapede. Saw him, he used to play for Cincinnati and Kalamazoo. And now he plays for us. So it's really great when your top scorers who used to score against you now play for you. It's just like, yes. So those are some guys, but I mean, this team, probably one of the funnest teams that I've got to experience in this year. So yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite, but we post a lot of them on like our TikTok and stuff. And so like literally if you just like scroll through videos, you can just like latch onto one and be like, I think you're funny. And they're all like pretty funny. Like I was talking to one of them. I was like, he walks out barefoot from the locker room. I'm like, no shoes. Like, that's crazy.
A little
He's like,
gross.
yeah, I don't wear shoes outside. I'm like, well, yeah, like it's grass. He goes, no, in the snow. What? Pause.
Sir, where are you
I
from?
was like, what are we doing? I thought he meant grass. I was like, oh yeah, like that's normal. I was like, snow, that's not normal. So
That's
yeah,
so weird.
hockey players, as we know, are complex and interesting creatures.
Yeah. Um, who's getting ox? Who's got the best music taste since our old favorite is no longer there with the good music taste?
I don't really know. Like we had I forget what song it was. There was a song in in their pregame track that they wanted changed, but maybe Michael Marquesan. I feel like he's got some bangers. A lot of them again are big country artist fans, or like EDM music. I'm like that's just like two spectrums of I just don't know where you get that from. Um
What's the vibe of your guys' pregame music? Because right now for the Hawks, it's just like Kendrick Lamar and Blink 182 is kind of our vibe up here.
It's like it's a mix of your classic hockey warm-up songs, like
Yep.
just like the Avicii and the songs you always hear. And then we got like that Blue Strip song that I always somehow like I zone out during the pregame, like because I just am doing I'm doing the TikTok live, and so I never pay attention to the music. But when that like Blue Strip song starts playing, I lock in. I'm like, oh yeah, like this song. I'm like banging out, I'm like dancing. And I'm like, that's the only song I could tell you that's on the track. I'm sure there's some like Avicii in there and some
Yeah.
other classic hockey player music that you can never steer clear from.
No, that you like listen to once during the off season just because you're like, I'm getting
You're
a
like,
little twitchy. I need to like
"Mhm."
visualize being in the inside of a rink
Yes,
or whatever normal people do.
correct.
Well, perfect. All right, jumping outside of the fuel, because I know you're with the fuel 90% of the time, but you also wear like 5 hats
Yes,
in Indy.
I do.
Um, what else is going on in the world of Eva?
So I believe when the time that this airs,
Like first week of February.
first week of February, I believe that this news will be allowed to be released, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. So exclusive news. I will be joining the IFL again next year, but as their color analyst. So they'll be aired via FanDuel Sports Network and Yahoo Sports. I'll
Okay.
be, I believe, the first color analyst in the league. So that's pretty cool. I signed the contract
Yeah.
literally a couple days ago, and there should be a press release out soon. So they never told us when we could say things, and I'm like, can I just say things? Like I've known this since November. I'm like, I am like itching to tell people about this. So I'm very excited. So I'll be doing some freelance indoor football over the summer. I do social media marketing for like 4 businesses. One is owned by a former hockey player for the team, so that's
Yep.
pretty fun. But and then my other favorite place I work for is a bagel shop, and I do social media for the bagel shop, and then I get bagels.
That's very important.
Dream life. So honestly, just do a lot of social stuff now, but I graduate in May, so really looking for a full-time hockey gig in the real world. Cannot wait. I'm terrified
Come
though
up
because
north.
yeah, honestly that would be great. If not, I would love to work in a warmer climate and you can just come visit because it'll
Yeah,
be nice and warm.
that
And
sounds perfect.
the Hawks will play there and it will be 70 degrees. Dream life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And we can go to Disney. 'cause I'm
I
also
know, like,
we
Florida
can
doesn't sound too bad, like, Tampa, I'm like, "Call me up." Or, like, there's some teams that, I've looked at, like, obviously hoping to maybe do the AHL jump next, just make that progression. But there is a new ECHL team that will start next year, the, New Mexico Go-Heads, and
Oh.
they will be in need of a broadcaster, so I am like, "Call me up."
Hey,
Um
everyone, call up Eva.
I know, I was like, "That would be really cool." So, obviously not, fingers crossed that things go well and not trying to corner myself in, but, there's you never know what the hockey like, it's like free agency. It's like it's a terrifying time for everyone, and so I haven't been a free agent in a while, and so it's like both like hockey and baseball and every other place. It's like, well, we'll make some calls. We'll hope for
Yep.
the best.
Gonna call everywhere. Just call every state, and then whatever you get is where
Yeah,
you
my
go.
LinkedIn is just like constantly refreshing. I'm like, what do we see here? But most hockey jobs don't open up till like April, May, the kind of the end of off season, end of season, beginning of postseason. So like I have time, but also I don't. Like it's already January. Like
I know. I feel like we just started the season, but also it feels like this season has been 3 years.
I would agree with that. This has just been a really wild season. And I just like,
Maybe it's because everybody's was, like, hurt at a point up here and then had the flu, so I'm
oh my
like, we've
gosh,
just been dying.
that was horrible. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
because
it was
then you
like
guys didn't have any goaltenders.
no, and we were in South Dakota and you just took everyone from us. I was like, so I'm tweeting the game and then I get told, "Oh yeah, so they took Weeks and they took Flores." And I'm like, "Both?" Yep. And so then we had to bring up our goalie coach who was our backup goalie. He had to fly from Indy to South Dakota to back up cuz we were playing a 3-on-3 and we already played one game. And I'm just like, well, great. And then I was having a sinus infection, so I'm like, great. This is just so timely. Everyone's getting sick. I'm having to tweet this game. Our Ryan Willett, who is like our backup goalie, he played really well. We had 54, 57 shots on goal, and we only scored one goal. So I was like, okay, well, I don't blame you, Willett,
Right.
for that game. But I was like, can I have Mitchell Weeks and Owen Flores back, please?
Yeah, I feel like that whole weekend just aged everyone in, like, the Chicago, Rockford, Indy pipeline. Because I
Like,
remember we had gone down because like Friday the Hawks were playing the Caps and I was down at warmups on the Caps side because my friend that I took is from the
mhm,
DC area. So I was like, all right. Also, I'm like, this could be potentially the last time I see OV play at the United Center because we don't know if he's coming back.
yeah.
And I like look over and I hadn't gotten like notifications from this morning, like during practices or whatever. I wasn't paying attention. And I look over and I see 33 and I'm like, why the hell is Drew up here? And I'm like, what? This is great. Love Drew, thinking
Mhm.
like Drew is backing up
No.
Bloom or whatever. Because so we were Friday night, we ended up rocking Drew Camesso and then our E-Bug goaltender who like had the same number as Arvid Soderblom, our backup goalie. So I just see 40 and I'm like, okay, Bloom's in net, Drew's backing up. Fine. And then I get the notification. It's like, no, Drew and our E-Bug. And I'm like, against the Washington Capitals, against Logan Thompson, who's going to the Olympics. Great.
Yeah, like, it's like that meme, it's like, "I'm in danger." It's just
Yes.
like
I'm like, but then I'm like, whatever this kid does, great.
didn't he get the
It
shutout
is.
in, Nashville?
Then he got the shutout. So I was at the game Friday, and then my mom and I went down to Nashville on Saturday. And initially, I'm like, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be
Mhm.
bad because I'm like, I don't know who has the flu. We just keep getting notifications that like half our team is out, and I'm like, Saturday night in Nashville. this is going to be a long game to watch. And then I was like, this may be one of the best games that I have ever seen. And Drew stood on his head. And I always yell on our show that Drew Comesso is the future of goaltending in Chicago. And I got to be even more insufferable about it.
You know what? I support that. I support that. And also, Mitchell Weeks and Flores. Like, Flores got his first AHL win.
Yes.
Clap, clap, clap. Sorry, like a generator just went off. I was like, what's going on here, guys? Is the snowmageddon already upon us? But no, the Chicago goaltenders this year really just like everyone, like top down, like love who we have. That was just like a really like freak moment where you're like, oh, like, and then everyone in Chicago is also hurt. So it's
Yep.
just like then we don't have like Kevin Lombardi and Harrison Israel's. We've not seen them in I don't know how long. Kevin Lombardi was our ECHR. Oh my gosh, ECHL All Star rep. They sent him down just for the All Star game. Then they took him back. I was like, thanks for letting him represent us. I don't know the last time we've seen him. I think it was in November. No, they took him right before Teddy Bear Toss.
Yeah.
And then we did not score until the final 3 minutes of the third period.
Hey, I've been to teddy bear tosses where they don't score at all, and you just have to toss them at the end of the game. It was awkward.
Yeah, it was a little. She was a little rough there. I was like, okay, yay, thank you. Like have him back, but I honestly think what I am really interested to see is the Olympic break because there is just going to be a huge shift in the coast specifically. I know like obviously the two ways from the NHL are going to be sent down to the AHL and it's just going to have the trickle down effect where some teams like Pittsburgh's affiliates and Edmonton's affiliates, they have so many two ways that their ECHL team is going to be like stacked like to an insane amount. It's like, well, you're going to have to trim your roster up to make space for these guys. And so I'm really interested to see the Olympic break. And we unfortunately play Wheeling and Fort Wayne during that. So really not looking forward to that. But it's fine. We'll probably get Kevin Lombardi and Harrison Israel's back, so the world will be right.
Maybe.
I better. They're so much fun. Like, and Harrison Israel's girlfriend is just really nice. She bought me this Christmas ornament, and I owe her coffee, and I haven't seen her because she's in Rockford.
Right. I think I've seen her TikTok.
I can't email her. Like, I'm just gonna have to send Harrison like $5, be like, for your girlfriend, please buy her coffee.
There you go.
Please.
Yeah, I think I've seen her TikToks because I've seen like the partner ones where it's like he just scored, but
little does he know he's gonna be folding laundry tonight. Those are
yes.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
No. They cook every time. And I forget, there's a Carolina goaltender and
Bussy's fiance.
Yes.
Yes. Love the outfits.
Oh my gosh. Literally probably my favorite wag in the NHL. Her content's great. Her outfits, fantastic.
10 out of 10.
She seems like the sweetest human being in the entire world.
No, honestly, her TikToks got me to pay attention that Carolina had a new goaltender. Because I'm a Western Conference fan. I'm like, I don't pay attention to like the ins and outs of every team on the East unless like we're playing them.
I really just pay attention to your own division.
Right. Well, that just gets sad. So I'm like, I'll at least like pay attention to the West. But then I saw like a video where she was like, my fiance's called up. We're in Carolina. I'm like, all right, Carolina's got a new goaltender.
They've been rocking it. So I'm like, okay. Isn't he undrafted too? I believe he's an undrafted. I don't think he was drafted. So it's like he literally like rose from the ashes. I'm like, that's like an inspiring story because it's rare now that you see undrafted goaltenders make it to the NHL.
Well, that is one of my favorite things. I'm a big, not even a Washington Capitals fan, but I will toot the horn of Logan Thompson. Mm-hmm. Like hearing his story of like going through like college hockey up in Canada and then making his way through like the minors up to playing like an absolute insane legend for the Caps. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I love player stories of, they play in the ECHL, they play in the AHL, and then they finally get like the call up. Like that to me is like, you earned that. Like I know like every hockey player earns, his shot in the NHL. But like when you go through all of the leagues and all the steps, like you earned it, like severely. Like kudos.
I think one of my favorites, what this was a couple of years ago, again, injury nightmare, absolute injury nightmare. We were directly pulling goaltenders out of Indy because everybody in Chicago was injured, everybody in Rockford was injured. And seeing Jackson Stauber get his first call up, and then he was like playing lights out for the first couple of games, I was like, this is fantastic. I'm like, this will not last, but I love what is happening right now.
Yes, you love it. And then if you're into, you're like, okay, well, goodbye. Never see you again. It's like it always happens. Like if someone gets called up and then they play fantastically, which you want that to happen.
Right.
And you're like, I'm never, ever seeing you again. So nice knowing you. See you on the flip side.
It's like Rockford fans when Frank Nazar got called up to Chicago, and you're like, I will never see you in Rockford ever again.
No, he got too cool, got too good, which is good.
Right, and we kind of expect it. Like, go do cool stuff. Come up to Chicago.
Yes. Happy.
Well, Eva, thank you so much for coming on. As always,
of course,
one of our favorite guests.
This is so much fun.
Hope, things get slightly less crazy, but also continue to be crazy because you're killing it down in Indy.
Thank you.
And then if we don't talk but till the end of the year or during the off season, because obviously you'll be back on at a point, happy graduation.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Like, it's like, well, obviously, to me though it's bittersweet because depending on how the fuel shake out with the playoffs, like it could be like I have my last field game and then a week later I'm done with school. Like that's traumatizing in my opinion. Like that's jarring. And I don't want to think about that. So just not right now we are projected to make the playoffs. My hope though is we have a Fort Wayne and Indy playoff series. It would feed families. And then also I don't have to go to Wheeling or Toledo or Bloomington. I just don't want to travel that far.
No, that's fair.
A little picky on my traveling, I feel like. Especially because I have to drive until in the NHL you get to fly. That's pretty nice. Here I gotta
drive to South Dakota.
Drive or pray I can be stuck on the bus, which I don't want to go on the bus. I don't want to go on the bus. It's a stinky bus. I don't want to go on there. So yes, I will keep you guys all updated. Should be fun. Hopefully.
Absolutely. No, there's no hopefully. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.